So I'm Brian Davis.
I'm Jason Wu.
My name is Margie McCullough.
My name is Matthew Sanchez.
So I joined the staff here at New Denver at the beginning of 2018 as the worship director.
I've been coming to New Denver for about a year and a half, and I've been on the worship team probably for a year and a half minus like a month.
I've been at New Denver almost 7 years.
I usually play bass, I guess, most of the time. Guitar as well. I've led a couple songs here, which has been fun. I've enjoyed that quite a bit.
I had worked with the church for a long time, almost since they started, helping out with worship on kind of a contract basis and coming in and out. And starting the first time I led worship here, I was in the midst of going through a divorce. My life was completely turned upside down, and these three guys, Norton and Steven and Jason, met with me over coffee one day, and I had a chance to share my story and what was going on in my life, and they didn't even blink. They just looked at me and said, "You are welcome here anytime, in any capacity, and because we love you." And that was one of the first times, probably the first time, that I had ever heard anyone at a church say that to me.
Being part of the worship team at New Denver has been a big part of my experience here, and it's just been a huge, tremendous blessing. And it's really helped me to cultivate my relationship with God in two ways. The first way is just having something to practice as a discipline and to get better at it, and while practicing to be able to worship God has been a great just blessing and hobby, and just a great way to spend time, and it gives me something to really improve upon. And also being on the worship team, I've been able to build a lot of relationships with people.
I love music. Love listening to music, and when my wife and I were, I guess, church searching when we first moved down to Denver, we focused on a lot of the worship aspect. One of my favorite things coming into this church and joining the community was hearing the voices of the entire church congregation Sunday mornings, when either Brian or whoever's singing steps back from the mic, and hearing vocally everyone surrounding you, either when you're on stage or being in the church crowd as well. It's a really awesome thing to hear.
I got involved with the worship team probably 6-ish years ago. I was on staff at the time and helping with that, and so just kind of fell into singing sometimes. I have enjoyed being a part of the worship team and being a part of New Denver in general, but especially in regards to worship. I have been to churches where it was one huge production and you kind of felt like you were going to a show, and this feels much more authentic and much more inviting, especially to people who have never been to church before.
The very first time that I led worship here, we sang "How He Loves," I think, and I was just an absolute wreck because I didn't feel like I was singing for anyone. I felt like I was singing with everyone. We were all kind of in our collective brokenness singing this song, and it's been that way ever since.
I've seen, it seems like New Denver has grown a lot in the last 10 years, and they really have carved out something very special here in Denver. And I, for the next 10 years, think that and hope to see that what they've started and the seeds that they've planted and what they've carved out, continues to grow.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great being here, and I just encourage that everybody is to maintain the genuine aspect. It definitely attracts visitors. It's great to be around, and authenticity is always appreciated from anybody.
Yeah, I met my husband at New Denver, so this will always be a huge part of our story. We will always be super grateful for the worship team specifically, because it was me working with the worship team and Adam leading that got me and Cody together. And so, yeah, it really did. Being a part of the church and being a part of the worship team specifically kind of transformed my life and our life together. So
we're gonna keep trying new things, and I want to continue to stretch myself in terms of worship, and continue to stretch this community in terms of how we express ourselves in worship, not just with music, but with everything that we do outside the walls of this church, with our families, how we worship at our jobs, how we worship in our classrooms. Just I want us to, as a community, over the next decade, if I'm fortunate to be here that long, I would love us to see worship as a holistic practice and not just something that we do when we come together to sing songs on Sunday morning. But when we do come together to sing songs on Sunday morning, I want that to be as heartfelt and as passionate as I feel that it always has been ever since I first walked through the doors of this place.